Hi.
Hi. Yeah, it works. Hooray.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that it's streaming from the Nikolai World one as well. Oh, it is. Excellent. So, guys, for you guys that are not aware of what I'm doing today, I'm doing a bit of a test. I'm doing double stream. So I'm streaming from my phone for Grishko World. Then I'm mirroring it with a special piece of software to Nikolai World. So if you see me looking to the right, it's because my laptop's there so I can read the comments, because obviously there'll be different interactions on both streams. So this is Rachel. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people watching?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Richardson, and I'm a dancer with American Ballet Theatre. And I have been wearing Grishko pointe shoes for a long time, but I only recently met Leanne because she so graciously fit me for pointe shoes over FaceTime, which was awesome. So I'm so grateful to have connected with her. And I'm excited for a chance to talk with you. You seem like such an awesome individual. So I'm excited to
Oh,
hear
thank
more
you.
about
Hi,
your
Mr.
life and journey.
Grishko. Mr. Grishko is watching too. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to connect with so many dancers around the world, like during this lockdown. And it's super
Yeah.
exciting to be able to help people with their shoes as well. Because although it's not
Yeah.
like, like a kind of, I mean, when I fit shoes in person, it's obviously very thorough. But there's only, of course, so much I can do over the internet. But it's still great to be able to see when you've got an eye for it and you kind of know roughly what you can see what's going on with somebody. It's great to be able to help
Yeah.
them. So it'd be very exciting to see what you think of your shoes and you get them.
Yeah, I can't wait. And actually, there have been just like other dancers in our company have had problems being able to get shoes during this time, like because obviously all of our workplace is closed. So I am just so grateful that you guys were able to like give me the shoes that I needed, and it's been so cool. I'm so grateful to be with you guys.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad that we could help you out. So
Yeah.
during this time of lockdown, it must be quite tricky, obviously, not just for all kinds of dancers, obviously, because we haven't got that glorious space of the studio. We're having to make do with what we've got. And I watched your stream doing your company class.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you training at home whilst we've been on lockdown?
Yeah. Well, we're so grateful. One of our company class teachers actually like before the company themselves like set up a company class, he just reached out and said like I want to be teaching class to you guys during this time. So we were able to start like I think the week that we went on the first week we went on layoff back like in March, um March like 17th or something like that. He just immediately started teaching classes. So yeah, I had like a just kitchen area that I set up, and luckily the floor was like decent enough. It worked out great. But it definitely is challenging. It's not the same as a major studio, like with a big space. But I have been able to find like here and there different studio spaces that have been open.
Uh-huh.
And like my home studio of Oregon Ballet Academy, the teacher is teaching Zoom classes for his students also.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
worked with him a few times. As like we've just been social distance within the studio, and he'll teach the class on me.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
it is nice with those chances, yeah, just to have a space to be like in a full area. But yeah, then also our company sent us a little portions of the Harlequin Marley
Oh,
floor, so that
perfect.
made a big difference.
I love
Yeah, that
that
made it a
stuff.
lot.
I also invested.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It
Specifically,
makes,
actually, it made the biggest. Yeah, it made the biggest difference for Point
oh
because
God,
Point
yeah.
on yeah on not Marley was really tricky.
Right? It's like my fitting room at home, which I also used to practice in. It was just laminate floor, but it's so shiny and slippery. And I was like, do you know what? I think I'll take this moment to actually go ahead and, get some decent floor put down. And obviously, not only is it good for me to practice on, but it means that my customers can now, properly try the shoes out more so because I've got a nicer floor down,
Yeah.
um, which is wonderful. So when did you start dancing? Like, how old was you?
So I started dancing when I was, I think, like 7 or 8. Um, and I started in Oregon at my studio there. And then when I was 13, and I actually started dancing because my sister danced.
Ah,
So I went to, yeah, take, I actually was like in the lobby of her while she was in a dance class, and her teacher, noticed that I had really high arches and was like, "Oh, you should come and take a class," like because having good feet is such a thing in ballet. Yeah, so I started then, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it like right away. And then when I was 13, I moved to the Rock,
Oh
which is
yeah.
the Rock School for Dance
Uh-huh.
is a um, boarding school in Philadelphia. So I trained there for 3 years, and then I joined the studio company um, that's connected to American Ballet Theatre, and then I joined the company from there.
Oh wow, fantastic. So how many years have you been at ABT now?
This is my 5th year.
Oh wow. What's your experience
Yeah,
been like so far? What's been like your, say, top moments, but also any kind of challenging moments that you might have had as well?
yeah. Definitely the most challenging moments were sort of right off the bat. Coming from, smaller studios and like we did YGP during when I was at the Rock. So I was really used to having a lot of one-on-one coaching time. Um, and just like, when you're in a smaller company anywhere, you have like even in studio company, you have a lot more personal attention. And so just moving to such a large company was initially really challenging because I, wasn't totally sure how to maneuver just like all the free time that I had initially and the difference in schedule. Like we would still be learning a lot of things. We'd be sort of like in the studio learning, but not as much like physical dancing
Uh-huh.
when you begin because there are already so many casts like in place and as an apprentice you're really just a lot of your time is spent learning choreography.
Uh-huh.
So that was really challenging. But then as I got settled, I gave totally. As I got settled, I just like got used to finding also like outside dance projects to be a part of and keep myself like how to really keep up my own routine
Of
as
course.
opposed to just because I was used to other people giving me my routine and telling me what to
Oh
do.
yeah,
So it
that
was
must be really
mostly
surreal at first.
yeah, absolutely. It was just sort of like, oh, okay, now I'm in charge of yeah, my own schedule and
Yeah, yeah.
I get to decide for myself what when it's right to do what things and what I need to keep myself in shape and happy and yeah.
Absolutely, because obviously when you're a professional, it's so much different in terms of how much stamina you need to have, the energy you need to have in
Yeah.
general, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, eating
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
hydration. Like it's all like I think it's almost
Yeah.
like tenfold to what you're used to when you're like a dancer in training. I
Yeah.
can't imagine like especially like doing your first kind of full week and experiencing the kind of time you're on point as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you which did you find that you were on point a lot more when you started at ABT compared to when you was in full-time training? Was there much difference there?
Well, the difference was like once I joined the company, I was pretty much wearing my point shoes all day long, but I wasn't necessarily, at least in the beginning, like on point the whole
Uh-huh.
time. Whereas before, I would, be wearing my point shoes and be really dancing a lot in them for like, maybe 2 hours, and then I would take them off and we'd do like work on contemporary pieces or to have
Sure.
a character class or something different. So just getting used to like really being comfortable in your shoes, and even like during a full length ballet, if it's Bayadere or so on like something Sleeping Beauty that's like 3 hours long, you have your pointers on like pretty much for the entire thing.
Uh-huh.
So it was just sort of like a difference of like literally just getting used to wearing point shoes like they're normal comfy street shoes and like being able to do whatever in them run. Sometimes they're like in some theaters, there's no backstage crossover, so you have to run like downstairs underneath the
Oh my
theater and
God,
then come
dude,
back
I
up.
never thought about
And like
that.
doing running in your point shoes, like all the whatever you have to do. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. Wowza. It's really cool to hear about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So how old was you when you went on point? Like when was the first time that you got point shoes?
That is a great question. I think I would, if I had to guess, I think I was probably like 11 or
Uh-huh.
12, maybe.
Can you remember what it
Yeah.
felt like to go on point for the first time? Like how was it, not just physically, but also mentally?
Yeah, I was definitely excited because I think as any like young dancer is putting you see dances ballet dancers especially on point. So you're thinking like, "Oh, I can't wait till I get to wear point shoes." So I was excited to put them on,
Uh-huh.
but we have some photos like from my first, you know, time on point, and I was wearing gambas, and
Oh,
my
I remember
feet, it's
them.
just like total biscuits. They look so bad, but it's really funny, and I think that it was a lot more challenging or like very different than I think I was expecting to feel like a princess like floating around, and actually it was like probably a little bit painful and like really challenging to like actually get on point. So I was like a little bit not as it wasn't quite as exciting as I thought it might be, but then as I learned like how to do things on point, then it got more fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was interesting.
When do you reckon it was the first time that you tried a pair of Grishkos?
Actually, so
Or
that
Nikolai's, I
was
should say.
um yeah, so that was when I was at the Rock. I was wearing block alphas for quite a while, and then someone I think it was the director, her name is Stephanie Spatzoff. She recommended Grishkos because they're really beautiful. And I think I had sort of been hearing that my block alphas were very functional, but people thought like my feet could look better.
Hmm.
Um, and they actually initially just recommended Grishkos as like a performance shoe because they were like, they're really beautiful. So if you really love your block alphas, like you could keep wearing those, but maybe just for performances, you could wear the Grishkos. But like obviously that's not um, super practical because you want to be performing in the same thing
Of
that you're
course, yeah.
practicing.
Hmm.
So then I switched over to Grishko. I think initially it was a 2007. Yeah, but it was great,
Cool.
and they're super supportive, which I really love, and they're like really strong, so they last a long time.
Right? The lifespan is absolutely incredible. Like I have dancers come to
Yeah,
me that are snapping shoes like no tomorrow. And sometimes
yeah,
like you, they need a custom. And then I sort their
mhm,
shoes out and I don't see them for a while. And I like that because I know that they're still wearing them. And I
yeah.
call them up and I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, yep, still wearing the shoes. I'm like, excellent.
Yeah, and I loved when we talked over FaceTime, you were saying, and I have done this before and I appreciate it, having one pair of shoe that's a lot softer for certain roles where you
Yeah.
want to be able
Uh-huh.
to move through your feet and things like that, and then other shoes that are harder. And it's so cool that within Grishko, like I can have both of those as Grishko shoes, so it's not like I have to be switching from different companies or brands that is like it takes a while to get used to. I can just have
Yeah,
the shoe feels pretty much the same, but just a much softer shank or a
absolutely.
much softer box. So it's really nice.
It's incredible the amount of variation we have with like strengths of shank, box paste, how much we can customize the shoe.
Yeah.
And now with
Yeah.
the fact that we are now Nikolai in the USA, just to let you guys know that are watching, in America, the name for Grishko in the USA is Nikolai, which is Mr. Grishko's first name. And it was important to him and us as a company that we are able to supply the US with real Grishko Nikolai shoes made in Russia, but also it enabled retailers to now get the full range of products and shoes that we didn't have before. So now it means that everyone can get their shoes quicker, they can get more variety, they can even get more variety with the dance wear. So for those of you guys watching on Grishko World, we are Nikolai, because there's still people that are a little bit confused. Um, and obviously I have double stream going on, so if I'm switching between looking over here, you guys know why, because I want to see if there's questions on this one. So yeah, for those of you watching who may not be aware of the crossover and the fact that real Grishko made in Russian shoes are called Nikolai, always look on the back of your shoes for the Nikolai stamp and handmade in Russia. The fakes, there are fakes that are made in China, unfortunately, and they are not the real deal. They do not have access to our factories, our cobblers, our technologies, our secrets, nothing. They are literally just producing fake shoes, which are not only dangerous, but they look awful. So just be aware of that. Um,
Yeah.
so
You did, like you mentioned, your dancewear also. I love like all of the Grishko leotards and other dancewear. They're so beautiful.
I love the fact we have like so many collections as well. It's nice to see that they keep it fresh.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so cool. And the fact that there's like styles for everybody, because not everybody likes, kind of ultra stuff. Some dancers want something a little bit more,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean. It's nice to have that, and different fabrics, different like mesh, lace, different, just, yeah, different cuts of Leo, of course.
Yeah.
Georgia says,
Can I ask you,
go on, sorry, what was you going to say?
or just can I ask you what your sort of path was to be joining the Grishko
Oh,
team and to where
sure,
you
yeah,
are now and what
absolutely.
your circumstances?
This is cool. I
I would
get
love
asked
to
a
know.
question. I love it. So
Yeah.
basically, let me tell. There's probably people who are watching that don't know who I am either. So my journey with Grishko, or Nikolai, as it were, when I was younger and I went on Pointe, I had this fascination with Pointe shoes from a very young age. And I've always been very into the fine details of things and the beauty of ballet in general. But also, I realized that when I was getting Pointe shoes myself, I tried many brands, many models. I was suffering with different problems, and I also didn't like the way that I was treated. I didn't like the fact that a lot of stores were giving you a very quick fitting. It was like an in and out job. They'd try on 3 pairs. They wouldn't, if you had questions, they would never know how to answer them. And I found that a little bit strange. I really felt there was a
Yeah.
lack of knowledge with some fitters, but also I felt that there was a lack of passion. I wanted to be
Right.
able to help other dancers with what I learned personally. So I started to help dancers in the schools that I went to. I had an eye for seeing a problem in a pointe shoe and how to solve it. And they would often be going to different fitters and getting shoes that were painful. And I'd be like, oh, you know, you should try that. I think this would solve it. And they'd go and do that and it would work. And it was just like, wow, I'm not even a pointe shoe fitter, but I seem to have some sort of knack. And some of my
Yeah.
teachers at the time were like, you know, you should really do something with this. So there's no like official qualification for pointe shoe fitting as such. I mean, loads of brands have like a 1 or 2 day course thing, which in my opinion, you cannot learn to fit pointe shoes like that. It's not just about
Hmm.
learning how to put the shoe on someone and learning what to look for. It's also learning about feet, ankles, anatomy in general, how the dancer's body works, looking to see if there's an issue with something going on with the dancer that needs to be looked at by a medical professional, knowing why a problem occurs with what kind of pain someone is experiencing and what you might need to do to make the pointe shoe work for them. Also knowing about custom order, of course, learning about how ballet affects the shoe. So, you know, like different strengths, how they work with different feet, learning about
Right.
alignment of the dancer, learning about different dancers with different things, hyperextension, for example, dancers that don't have enough flexibility in their ankles, all these little things that go into, because it's not just fitting the shoe, it's like we're creating that bond of the shoe and the dancer together. And
Yeah.
I really felt there was a lack of that in a lot of fittings that I looked at and had myself. But also, I really wanted to help dancers that were either, say, super narrow or super wide. Because I'm super, super narrow. I'm a single X width in a Grishko Nikolai shoe.
Wow.
And you know what? This is the most hilarious part. My first pair of Grishkos were 2007s, and they put me in a size 5 in a 4X width, and I wear a 4.5 in a 1X width in that shoe. Could you imagine the
Wow.
pain I was in and how much sinking I had?
Yeah. Especially when shoes are too wide, it hurts your toes so much because you're like just really sinking into the bottom.
It
That
was
must have been
horrific.
horrible.
So,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know about you, but I never realised when I was, you know, not a fitter that there wasn't. I didn't realise how many models of Grishko Nikolai there were, and I wasn't aware of how many strengths of shoe, because this is another thing I'm helping educate the world about, is the fact that we do have many variations and there are many Grishko Nikolai shoes to suit everybody, because often people will just come across 2007 or Nova, for example, and they won't know about all the other varieties. And it's kind of sad because there's so much available.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So like for my journey as a fitter, I did go on one of these courses in the UK back then, but honestly I didn't learn much from it. It was more so I was fascinated with the information that was being given out, actually. So for me personally, for me to be at a comfortable level to actually go out there and fit shoes and start my business, I first of all took plenty of time to learn about other brands, where other models, so I could understand how those shoes feel and how the dancer is going to feel when she comes to me and tells me about that shoe. I wanted to
Right.
analyze how the shoes are made, for example, because there's many different technologies out there with pointe shoes now. But I also wanted to understand more about professional dancers as well, because that's a whole different kettle of fish. Dancers in
Hmm.
training also. So I really wanted to get as much knowledge as I could. And don't get me wrong, I'm still learning now. Like with ballet, we don't know everything in ballet, for example. We're always learning as dancers. Um,
Yeah.
but it's a very, I just really wanted to change the world in regards to how fitting is done. And people that come to me always say that I'm the most thorough fitter they've ever had, which is really sweet because that's exactly what I wanted to become.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, I didn't want to have my own shop because I don't like, I mean, I love retail obviously, but I didn't want to be stuck in a shop where I know I've got to sell other products and I can't put as
Hmm.
much time and dedication into fitting the shoes. So that was very
Right.
crucial for me. And yeah, I mean, over the years, it's just boomed and boomed and boomed. And now sometimes I'm so busy fitting shoes, I barely have time to go to a class myself.
So where are you right now? Where are you living?
I'm in Essex, which is 30 minutes from London. So I'm very close by to
Okay.
London, which is great, obviously. I travel all
Yeah.
around the UK and the world. Not so much the world of point shoe fitting yet, but I'm hoping to change that because I really want to help people from afar. In fact, last week I
Yeah.
helped a dancer from India over video call with her Grishgos.
Amazing. That is so cool.
But yeah, so I'm hoping to come back to the US because I really want to do like a fitting tour. I want to go to other retail shops to do like a fitting day as well, which would be very nice. So yeah,
Yeah.
my goal was really to make fitting a better experience for everybody, but also to ensure that they know their varieties and options in Grishko Nikolai shoes and to be able to perfect the fit as well. Because, you know, sometimes you get dancers that could come to you in a Grishko Nikolai model that they really love, but we maybe want to cut the fabric down a bit at the side quarters, or we want to perfect
Yeah.
little details because, of course, as you know, being a professional, wearing the shoe on stage is very different to like your workhorse everyday shoe. There are things that we
Right.
might tweak to make it more perfect for stage rather than worrying so much about for if you're wearing it in a rehearsal, for example.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What can I ask? Like, what is your favorite Grishko shoe or like something you're super excited about?
Sure. So, in terms of my favorite shoes, I mean, my personal shoe that I love the most and I've worn for years and it's never going to change, I don't think, is the Maya one. And I wear
Okay.
that. That's my personal favorite, and I have that custom ordered. I also have a vegan
Hmm.
sole put on it because I'm vegan, so it's great to have that
Amazing.
option.
Yeah.
I also really love the 3007 that's just come out. I've been wearing that one as well. And the great thing is with that model, I can wear it off the peg. I don't have to customize it, which is pretty
Right.
impressive, to be honest, for my foot, because my foot is
Yeah.
a nightmare. And yeah, like I mean, I'm excited about all the models because all the models do something different for different people. But
Right.
they're my personal choices. And what I'm really excited about with
Yeah.
Grishko Nikolai as a brand is the fact that we now can finally give the US market all the products, and we can now also work with retailers to educate them better and to make them more confident on stocking all the other models as well.
Right. I saw Peter said that you should come to ABT and do a fitting, which would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that
I'll
would be
connect you with
amazing. I would love that.
on
It's been one of my other
yeah,
goals actually,
that'd
is
be
to go to the companies and do like a fitting day so we can show more professionals and dancers in training what we're about. Because
yeah,
again, like, you know, some people, they just don't realize that Grishko Nikolai have so many incredible varieties. So it'd be really
yeah,
nice to just let people try them on and talk about them in detail. It would be really fun.
yeah, absolutely. And I see is what you're wearing one of the Grishko leotards also?
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, right? I've got it in like four
It's so
colorways.
beautiful.
um,
Yeah, my mom has been trying to buy me so many.
so this is
Yeah,
my
it's
phone.
awesome.
And I've got the warm up thing on. So this is the heat retention um,
That's so
warm
cool.
up. And it's very lightweight, but also it can roll up, it can roll down. You can get the shorts, you can get the long length pants with it as well, and different colors.
Right.
And it makes you really, really
Yeah.
hot very quickly. Um,
Right.
do you know what's funny is when this when this came out, this heat retention wear, I was on the fence about buying it at first because I was like, oh my God, it's like what professionals wear. And I'm just like, I'm just like a dance enthusiast. And I felt
Hey, pretty dance wear. Everybody loves pretty dance wear. It doesn't matter if you're like a professional or an amateur or whatever. If you're fun dance wear to wear, everyone does
loads of my customers kept buying it. So I tried one of theirs on and I was like, oh my God, I need this in my life.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. I love like yeah, my mom has been showing me just like how many fun dance leotards and other products you have. So I'm excited to try them all out.
Okay, I'm just looking at some of these questions that we're getting on the Nikolai World stream as well before I forget them. Okay, so let's see. Libby Ray has asked how old you are.
I'm 23.
Oh, cool. Brooke has asked, how long did it take for the Harlequin floor to be delivered?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, since I was in Oregon, I think it took a little extra long, but I think I would say it took like 2 weeks from when it was ordered, to get to me in Oregon. But I think for if you're those who were in New York got it probably within a week or so. So they got it quicker.
Oh wow, I just realised that this is taking my, I can't have WhatsApp open on there. Oh sorry, I'm just having a little bit of a faux pas with my streaming.
No worries.
I've got WhatsApp for desktop and I just realised that I had it open on my Mac that I'm streaming from, but I have to keep the window open of the Safari browser. Hang on. So I'll have to open WhatsApp on this other one. Oh God, it's so confusing.
That technology is so cool so that you can have it streaming from two different
Hang on
sites. That's awesome. Or from two different web pages. I see this person is asking about Pointe Shoes. I can
Oh yeah, get
grab
them.
a pair of them
Yeah.
right here.
It'd be really cool.
So these are a new pair. They look like this. And these are not customs, these are just stock shoes. And I got these before I had sort of reconnected with you guys to get new shoes, but they look like this. They're Novas, as you can see. Yeah, and they have a super strong bank, so it's challenging to break them in the beginning. But they are really beautiful and shiny, especially when they're new. Yeah, and this is the bottom. I would love to hear more about
about Novas.
Great question. I guess I feel like I haven't tried enough other styles of Grishko to know like all the specificities of what makes them different. Yeah, but I really love I do like the shape of the box. And I feel like, yeah, I feel very lifted and like I can balance well also in them, which I like. I feel like the tape
It's got a very good ball platform, Nova. Which people who like love 2007, this is why they love Nova, but they also other models on 2007 last that also have a nice platform, a Dream Point 2007 pre-arch with the thermo technology shank, and the new 3007 as well, which is wonderful. Oh, Miracle as well. Miracle is like Nova, but Miracle is the lightest weight shoe, and the shank is constructed different, and the padding is not just on the inside like Dream Point, but it's also in the tip of the shoe. This is why it'd be so cool to put you in person one day, because oh my God, I could try every single model on.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that day for sure, because I would love to do that too. So this person is asking about sewing the ribbons on the inside or the outside, and I usually sew mine on the inside, which I see you do as well, especially just because I think it like looks a little bit prettier. It's cool. Sort of more a sleek line, but also for in the back, if I sew it on the inside, I find that it holds up the shoe a little bit better.
It does, definitely. There's so many, for viewers watching that maybe don't know a lot about sewing Pointe shoes, there's many different ways to do it. As a fitter, I always look at the dancer's foot to analyze where I personally think she should sew them, because it depends on a lot of factors. Like it depends on their arch, where their arch breaks. It depends on their instep height, the flexibility of their ankle. It depends on what their personal choice is with type of ribbon, their personal choice of elastic. Sometimes I'll do a crisscross of elastic depending on the foot. Sometimes I will place the ribbons at different angles if they've got a slight sickle that I'm trying to sort out, or if no matter what you do, you still get a little bit of twist in the shank that can't be solved with the shoe, then we can place the ribbon in a certain way for that. Also, we've got to think about, if someone's got Achilles tendonitis, for example, I'm a massive fan of ribbons with a little stretchy bit in the back for that. I'm not a big fan personally of the fully stretched ribbon, but it's very popular these days. A lot of dancers love that. Again, it's personal choice.
I struggle a little bit with those just because I tend to feel like my foot moves a lot more. That I do have friends who love them, especially because I think for quick changes, they feel like they can slip in and out really quickly.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, I never feel quite as secure in the fully stretched
I'm
ribbon.
the same.
Yeah.
It feels like it's not there on my foot. It feels like it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I just really like feeling like I know my shoes are not going to fall off. So I like my elastics to be tight and my ribbons to be able to really keep me on.
Especially because you've got highly flexible feet and high arches. You need all the support you can get to make sure that, because I can imagine that when a shoe starts to die for you, sometimes you might feel like you're going to banana over. So it kind of pulls you back a little bit to keep you in alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw someone ask about how long it takes to break in new Pointe shoes, and definitely, depending on if they're how hard the shank is, if they're stock or if I have customs with a bit of a softer shank. But usually the shank is quite hard, so I can, by the third time that I'm wearing them, they're at the point that I love them in terms of softness. So I'm not someone who loves putting on new shoes and wearing them for the show.
Oh God, no.
The shoes that I'm wearing for the show
are usually that love that. I could never imagine that.
I know. I have friends who just literally sew them and put them on right away.
Wow.
And go on stage, and I'm like, ugh. Because I also I feel like every shoe is just the slightest bit different. So I want to I feel like I want to get to know each shoe and really understand how it's going to work and what it will feel like.
Point to tell these guys actually. All Grishgos Nikolai shoes are handmade. So what that means is each cobbler has his own little way of making the shoes. So you could have two pairs of the same shoe, same size, width, shank, but they might feel a little bit different because that cobbler's got his own little way of making the shoes. So you will find slight variations. Some people can't notice it and other people might notice it.
It is so cool that they're handmade.
I've just got to connect my WhatsApp on this computer by taking, just swiping off this stream for 1 second. The stream will still go, but I'll freeze. One moment.
All right. Just waiting for her to come.
There we go, I'm back.
Sweet.
I was just making sure my WhatsApp was connected.
Oh, someone just asked what our go-to snack is for dancing.
I love that. What a great question. Food isn't spoken about enough.
I think a banana and peanut butter is definitely one of my favorites. I feel like I eat a banana and peanut butter almost every day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It varies for me. For example, I feel that, fruit is a great one. Also things with high protein that aren't heavy. So I I don't know if, Georgia, you probably know of it because it's a UK thing. It's called Graze. And they do little packets of some with nuts and some with corn and dried beans and stuff. And they're flavored. I like the barbecue one. It's really tasty. Because it's not a heavy snack, so it's not going to weigh you down, but it gives you enough oomph. And like Nicola said, naked bars, any kind of protein bar is wonderful. In America, I really like those Lara bars. They're really good.
I saw also Paola just asked how I got into ABT.
Oh, yeah, go on, tell us.
I did YGP, and so they asked me to join ABT Studio Company from YGP, and then after joining Studio Company, I joined the main company.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm a big supporter and fan of YGP because they get just an amazing amount of dancers into professional companies and into second companies in schools around the world. It's really impressive.
That's really
So grateful to
cool. Um, Also, I just wanted to mention to you guys, if anyone in New York is like watching, with regards to the fake Grishkos, just to let you know that Grishko NYC is selling the fakes. And if you want real Grishko Nikolai Pointe Shoes, please find a Nikolai retailer by going on the Nikolai World website. There's a retailer thing you can use to search your nearest one. You can also message us on either Grishko World or Nikolai World, and we will give to you your nearest Nikolai retailer. We also, of course, do ship as well from the actual website. But if you wanted an in-person fitting, obviously find your nearest Nikolai World retailer. Georgia said she loves the green packets of greys. Yes, they're really tasty too. I can't think of some other snacks I enjoy. I mean, I love food in general, to be honest, but
Leanne, I'd love to like just understand more about the vegan insole. So like how it's
yeah,
made and how it's different
sure.
from the normal insole. I think it's amazing that there are vegan
Isn't it
insoles.
great? Let me grab one of my
Yeah.
vegan slippers and Pointe Shoes. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, please do. Hi, Julie. I think I like them equally. There's definitely something really special about dancing on point. It sounds silly, but it's just like so different, I guess, than like a normal. Yeah, there's something. It's just extra fun in a way. So I do really like um dancing on point, but I also love contemporary ballets and also dancing barefoot is fun. I think it's just that being on point is like a very unique feeling, and especially when you like are dancing quickly or um yeah, like turning on point is really fun. So yeah, I do love point.
Okay, so with the vegan sole, it used to be made of a different material that was thicker, but they thankfully changed it a couple of years ago to a microfiber material, which is so much better in my opinion. So it
Mhm.
looks quite similar to a normal one, as you can see. This
Yeah,
color is a special order color, by the way. I'm trying to get the light so it's not so.
it's super cool.
And the sole, let's get a close up. Hang on. So it looks quite similar, but it's like a
Yeah.
plush material.
Right.
It's like yeah. So it's really nice to have that, and it's the same material they use on the slippers as well.
Okay.
It's like a grippy microfiber.
Right.
So yeah, for those of you guys watching that might want vegan option, it's custom. But for you guys in America, you're really lucky at the moment, and forever now, because you'll get custom shoes, slippers, or point shoes within just over like 2 weeks. So it takes 14 days for them to be made, and on day 15 they ship to the retailer, and yeah, you'll
That's
have them. Like,
amazing.
wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That is speedy, right?
Yeah.
um
Do you happen to know like the like I what it is in normal Shanks that is not vegan or like how
so when they're
I
not
would love to
vegan,
understand.
because on the this is a machine stitch sole. There's two types of sole with
Mhm.
Grishko. We have hand sew and machine stitched. We have different soles because of the constructions of the shanks are different in different models. So in this
Okay.
particular shank, the actual shank is vegan anyways on this one, but the thing that's
Okay.
not vegan on this style is the outer sole. So the outer sole on your pair that you've got there, for example, is like a suede,
Okay.
whereas this is just a microfiber. However,
Right.
on turn shoes with the hand stitched sole, they can't be made vegan at the moment. It might be something that might change in the future, but at the moment, the
Mhm.
reason why they can't do those ones vegan is I think they're struggling to find a fabric that is thick enough to hold the layers of shank together. There's so
Okay.
many
Yeah, that
different
makes
types
sense.
of shank, and also we have thermoplastic shanks as well now.
Right.
Georgia's asked me, Leanne, were you vegetarian before you went vegan, or did you just go straight to veganism? Great question. So for me,
Yeah.
right, I never imagined myself being vegan ever. And when I was, I think I was 16, I went vegetarian. And initially it was because I do love animals and I wanted to try it. So I went veggie, and I had very bad cystic acne, and it was so bad that sometimes I wouldn't want to even leave my house. And
Oh
I
no.
was told that dairy is a big culprit for bad skin. So I
Mhm.
tried, I had all different medications, lotions and potions, and nothing was working. So what I did was I was veggie for a long time. It wasn't until I was 19 that I decided to try being vegan for a week. And I did it, and I couldn't believe how easy it was. And also, I had a lot more energy. And within a month, I didn't have any bad skin anymore, which was pretty
Amazing.
mind blowing. Um,
Yeah.
and because it made me feel great, I thought, what, I'm going to keep up with it. And I'm 32 this year, so
That's incredible. Congratulations.
it was great for me. It's one of the best things I've done personally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I
Also,
stuck with it.
right. I mean, the meat and dairy industry also, unfortunately, are so like corrupt and just really add like to pollution and are not sustainable. So it's really awesome to be supporting, um,
It's so
yeah, a vegan lifestyle.
it's
That's so
so
cool.
cool that more people are more open to discussing this now, because like years ago, even being vegetarian, people would like make fun of you and just make you feel that your decision was wrong. And I always say to
Right.
people, like, everyone has a right in life to choose what they want to do and what path they want to go down and how they want to
Yeah.
live, and no one should be
Yeah.
forced into anything. But at the same time, I do
Yeah.
feel that it's great to have open discussion with people, so more people are aware of how other people live, because
Yeah.
education is a great thing.
Yeah. The New York Times had an amazing, like, I think it was a front page spread just about like the effects of essentially eating vegan. Even if they were saying even if it's just like one day a week or just like showing yeah, the impact of eating meat and dairy that it has on the environment. And it was super interesting. Also, I'm staying with my sister right now, and she subscribes to Purple Carrot, which is a like food
Oh yeah, I know about this because my
track
friend in Santa
delivery.
Monica subscribes to that.
Yeah, so I was asking her about it because there are a lot of different like they send you boxes that have 3 meals a week and it has all the
Oh
ingredients.
wow,
But
so
Purple Carrot is the
cool.
only one that's entirely vegan. And it's just like amazing how many different recipes there are. Just like for anyone who thinks that being, being vegan has to be like really challenging or like there's not you have to eat the same things or whatever. They just have like an amazing amount of recipes and they're all totally delicious and like not super challenging to make. So it's been really fun to eat those with her this
Oh,
week.
that's really cool. Did your sister still dance?
Um, she does just like recreationally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and actually recently she's in grad school right now, but she was taking a hip hop class as a part of her
Oh
just like
cool.
for a fun, like elective. Yeah, and I also recently just like started taking a couple hip hop classes just for fun. So it was really fun to like see she like showed me some videos of her class and like connect over our love of dance.
Love it. So that's a good. I've just thought of something else actually. So with regards to dance, have you always just done ballet? Have you done other genres? Right now, as a professional, are you doing contemporary as well?
Yeah, so growing up, I did pretty much just ballet. I obviously at summer intensives and like at my first studio, we did some jazz classes, some tap classes, but I really never liked pretty much anything except for ballet. So I just like stayed strictly with ballet, and then like probably within the past couple years, also at ABT, we do modern and contemporary ballets,
Ah,
but however, like compared to the range of modern and contemporary ballets that a lot of ballet companies do, we're very classical. So like the majority of our repertoire is classical. But just recently, I like started just trying new, like very different modern classes that I'd never really tried before and started taking some tap classes and hip hop classes and like other jazz theater dance classes and just totally like fell in love with just the amazing amount of ways there are to move your body and to respond to music. And I don't know how it was that I didn't connect with them like when I was younger, but I'm so grateful to realize how fun they are now. So I've definitely been more into other styles. And I think ABT's repertoire has been expanding. We recently had Michelle Dorrance, she has an amazing tap company called Dorrance Dance. She's an amazing tapper, and she made two different pieces for ABT. And we slowly have, it seems like our rep has been expanding in the amount of contemporary and or like different styles of dance that we have. So that's been fun to have that happen too. We just did a piece, it's actually from a while ago, but it's Twilight Harp and it's to the Beach Boys music. And it's just like super fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it's really fun to be able to dance in a wide variety of styles. And I hope to continue to try, like, to really expand my range and do more of different styles of dance.
Absolutely. George has got another good question here. What advice would you give to your younger self?
That is a great question.
You're on fire today, George, with your questions. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending in such interesting, thought-provoking questions. I think maybe not to take things too seriously. I think I really liked ballet, and I was always like even in school, like a really hard worker. I really wanted to do well. So I think sometimes I would put that ahead of just like enjoying myself or like having fun with it, like being, trying to do what I thought other people told me was best or what seemed like the right thing to do. I would just like really focus on that, which, wasn't horrible, but I think it would have been, it would have been useful just to like really love the things that I was doing and just be having fun with them instead of worrying about if it was the right thing or if I was, doing my absolute best. Because I think that sometimes kept me from like really enjoying fun opportunities because I was too worried about like if I was making the most of them or if I was, yeah, doing my absolute best. So
I totally agree with that. Do you know what I was thinking the other day about like my 20s, for example? Because once you hit 30, you start to look back on your 20s. It's hilarious. And I thought, blimey, I'm 32 this year. It's absolutely mad. And I thought about my early 20s in particular. And it was really interesting to realise that actually my early 20s, I really did take things a bit too seriously. And I wish that I just relaxed a little bit more and just enjoyed life for what it was. But instead, I was a bit of a worrier back then. I mean, I'm a very cautious person anyways, but back in my early 20s, I was very, very aware of everything. And I was always like in a panic, like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. Someone else is like doing that. I'm not doing that. But, where's my life going to be in 10 years? I'd panic about it. And it was ridiculous.
Right.
Whereas when I got older, I realized that, you've just got to let life, I mean, obviously you have to plan in so much, but life is funny thing, it will take its own kind of path and you cannot control what happens in every aspect of life.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I'm excited to see like in 10 years what advice I would be thinking to give to myself right now. So that'll be like fun to
nice one.
Just see as I continue to grow.
So
which ballerinas inspire me?
On the
so many.
Nikolai World Instagram stream, Mr. Grishko's viewing on that one, and Peter said that Mr. Grishko, should we let them know what idea you had today? So of course I was like, oh, I want to know what it was. So he just PM'd me, and basically we have some very exciting news. And the news is Mr. Grishko himself researched you, Rachel, as a dancer, and he believes that your career will be taking you to amazing heights, and he would like to personally invite you to become a Grishko and Nikolai brand ambassador. Oh my God, exciting!
Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah, I would love to.
That is so cool. I'm so pleased because secretly I wanted that as well to happen. So that is great news. Thank you, Mr. Grishko. I'm so pleased that you've seen what I've seen, and that is wonderful. There's so much we can plan with Rachel. That is great news. Fabulous. Well, congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. I did see one question about which ballerinas inspire me, and I just want to give a baby shout out to Devin Tusher, who's a principal at American Ballet Theatre, and she super duper inspires me because I feel like she just has such a sense of individuality. She's like it seems like she's never concerned about like comparing herself to others or what anyone else is doing. She's just totally, just like always stays very true to herself and like is so clear about her own worth and value, and it like really shines, I think, in a cool way. And so like it inspires me because it is unique and individual. So yeah, I'm a big fan of hers.
This is great. We're getting some really good questions. I love it. Any more questions, guys? Pop them in.
There's one that said, "What are your favorite brand and style tights?" And on that note, if I've never tried Grishko tights, but if there are Grishko tights, I'd love to try them. And
we'll send you some. We've got a good variety, and they're really nice.
Okay, yeah. As of now, I think probably just easier type. My favorite, but I would love to try Grishko tights.
I've got loads of questions here as well. So this stream ends in 5 minutes because it boots you off after an hour. Have you got to be anywhere? If you haven't, we can reboot it. But if you have, we can finish this off another time.
No, we can reboot it.
You cool with that?
Yeah.
Perfect. So guys, this stream will boot us off in 5 minutes, but come back because we'll carry on. I can do a quick 5-minute question off my list, which would be, what's your favourite roles to dance? Like, have you done any of your dream roles yet, or do you have a dream role that you really want to do?
I think the longer I dance, the more I realize that, like, it's really hard to pick a dream role because you often have the most incredible time and like grow the most from roles that you maybe wouldn't even expect to. So it would be easy to say like obviously like Juliet would be amazing. Whatever, like there are lots of classical roles that and like Onegin, there are a lot of classical ballets that I love dancing in, but I think I'm sort of gonna leave it open-ended without an answer because there are like a lot of contemporary pieces that I would love to do and like just more. I'm not big on I never had like a dream company. I'm not big on like super specific goals and dreams in that way just because I really feel like you can never totally know like what opportunities will like help you grow the most and will give you the most. So definitely just opportunities to challenge myself a lot. I would love to dance in more styles and work with more European choreographers also. Yeah, but I think
that's a great
answer,
and
I would
by the way.
more classical ballets.
I think it's really important in this day and age that more dancers focus on what life brings them in terms of dance rather than fixating on, oh, I want to be in this company, or you know, I want this role. You know, I think we need to just go by what we learn as we go along and have our teachers help us progress, and just getting out there more and learning as much information as you possibly can. I think that's really crucial in this day and age.
Yeah, I did see one question about what I would like to do after my dance career. And actually just started college courses, which has been, I took too long of a break after high school. But I'm so grateful to be in college courses now. So I don't know specifically what I'd like to do, but I would like to keep dancing for as long as possible. So hopefully for many, many, many more years. But after I stop, instead of becoming a teacher or choreographing or doing physical therapy or something in the dance world, I'm really interested in doing something outside of the dance world, just because sometimes the dance world does get sort of like a bubble, and I think it's important to have a really well rounded sense of life. So I'd like to get into like a different circle of life and experience like that. So I'm sort of interested in journalism. I love writing and just like traveling. So I don't know what it will be, but I have a feeling as I go through my college courses, I'll get more of a sense of what subjects interest me, and then I'd like to start a separate profession in something unrelated to dance, although I'm sure I'll continue dancing, you know, in my free time and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's always good to do something extra. So like, just, I mean, Pointe Shoes take up a lot of my life, and I even dream about them. I even wake up talking about Pointe Shoes. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
Like the other night, I woke up and I spoke about Shanks. Sometimes I wake up shouting out, "You need a 4.5 in a 2x whip."
That is crazy.
Honestly, it rules my life. But
Can I ask, like approximately how many fittings you do a week? Maybe back before the pandemic happened, or at
sure.
this time? I'm just curious what it's
So
like.
I work 7 days a week, including evenings, which my customers love because a lot of them, you know, can only do after school, for example. When it's back to school season, it can be very, very hectic. I think the most I've done in one day is 40. That was insane. I
Wow,
was
that is
wrecked. That's
crazy.
very difficult because I can do 40 if it's a lot of dances I've fitted before, but if they're all new, there's no way I
Mhm.
can do 40 in a day if they're all new to me. There's no way.
Right.
On an average week, it varies. I'd say probably between 50 and 70 in a week if I'm working
Wow.
long hours at night as well. Um, I travel a lot, so there's a lot of hours of traveling involved too, and a lot of
Yeah.
admin. Hang on a minute, my stream on the other one's just booted off, so hang on a second, let me just close that one. Hang on, let me get the hang of this, 1 second. And then this one's going to boot. So everyone watching, come back in a second because we're going to reboot. I'm just going to make sure that this one, right, that one's done that one. So I have to close this one. Then I have to, right, that one's done. Good. Okay. Right.
Leanne, in the new live stream, I can talk for like 15 more minutes,
Sure.
just so you know.
That's great.
Mhm.
So guys, in 1 minute, this one's going to reboot and we'll have an extra 15 minutes where you'll be able to ask more questions. So feel free to come back on. I'm just going to reboot this one now to make it easier because it's going to go anyway. So see you in a moment. Bye.
Yeah.